Hi everyone, my name is Christiana. I'm the librarian at the Public Library of Brookline, and I work with our ideaSPACE program. So normally we do craft programs and technology classes in the library, but right now we're all at home. So we're bringing ideaSPACE to home, and we've been doing some craft projects here. So if you'd like, you can grab some of your own craft supplies and follow on with me today. We're going to be making some window signs to put in our front windows in your apartment or in your home. And because we can't say hi to all of our neighbors right now, we're going to be making some pictures we can put in our windows to say hi through some art that we make. So you can either make a thank you sign for all the folks who are working really hard right now to keep us all safe and healthy. So for healthcare workers or for the people working at your grocery store or the truck drivers who are bringing all of the food to us. Or you can also make something just to brighten everybody's day while they're walking about from place to place right now. So a lot of people are making little rainbows. So if you go on a walk, you can look in people's windows and spot a rainbow and see how many you can count on your way to the grocery store or to go on a walk. So that's what I'm going to be making today, is I'm going to be making a rainbow. And you don't need any specific supplies to follow along today, just whatever you happen to have in your house. So I have some colored pencils and some crayons and markers in a bunch of different colors. I have some paper. I have some scissors and glue and some tape, just for some different options. And then I also have just some patterned paper that I had lying around my apartment and some felt that I had kicking around that I might use too. But this is just really for fun and to create something bright and cheerful on some sometimes rainy days right now. So I'm going to switch my camera to look down at my desk so you can follow along and you can grab whatever you'd like to make something too. And Wendell has come to say hi. He's the ideaSPACE kitty. While we're closed, he might poke in here and there. So I don't like to choose one kind of thing to make with. So I am going to not just use markers or crayons or any one thing. I think I'm gonna kind of do a little bit of a collage rainbow because I'm bad at making decisions. So I'm gonna start by just tracing out the shape of a rainbow that I wanna make with just a regular old light colored pencil to give myself an idea to work with. You don't have to follow any of these rules. If you have some really big pieces of paper at home, I think that would be really fun too. And just try and make the biggest rainbow that you possibly can and fill your whole window up. Or make a really big sign. If you're making a thank you card, you could use different pieces of paper and cut out one letter from every single piece of paper and make really, really big thank you letters that go all the way across all of your windows and wrap around. And you could decorate each one of those. My windows aren't too big at home, so I am going to make something a little bit smaller. That's my rainbow shape that I'm going to start with. And I think we'll start with red. I actually have this fun painted paper from another project. So if you have paint, you can break that out too. And what can be fun too is if you get some paint and you smear it all across your paper at home, if you don't have construction paper, but you do have paint, you can just paint pieces of paper and then leave them out to dry. And then next time you're working on a paper project, then you can use those pieces of paper. If you don't have patterned paper, you don't have colored construction paper, you can kind of make your own by smearing paint around. So that's what I did a while ago. And so I just have all these extra pieces. And it makes these kind of nice, cool texture patterns. So I'm not working with any kind of, I didn't plan this out at all. This is just for fun. And I just want as much bright colors as I can get on it so that it really stands out in the window, even if it's sunshiny out. And what's very cool about the rainbow project is some people are making maps of where all the rainbows are, especially like in neighborhoods. So you could do that with your friends if your friends live down the street or your neighbors live down the street and you can't go over to their house right now. You could give them a call on the phone and say, hey, let's make our own scavenger hunt. And then next time you go out, you can look in my window and you can try and spot everybody's rainbows. Or you could go on a safari and I'll do different animals. another thing you could do if you don't have any construction paper or any paint, you can also just color in a piece of paper and then chop it up if you want to do this kind of fun mosaic-y thing that I'm doing on my first layer here. It just makes this fun, kind of different texture than if we just colored on the page. The coloring is fun too. That is also fun. It's also Earth Day this month, and I believe it is the 50th Earth Day. So another fun idea would be to try and only use recycled things in your house to make something. To have a little recycled art piece in your window, just from leftover magazine pieces or old packaging. It's in your recycling bin. Some cereal boxes are really bright colors, and then they'll stick out a little bit more. I finished my red, so I'm going to switch to orange. And I think for the orange, I just want to do some like markers and colored pencils. And I think I might just do the orange and the yellow just together. Kind of a pattern. Now I like this kind of art because you don't actually have to be able to draw. You just have to be able to make shapes and cut things out and put them together. I like drawing too, but sometimes I don't want to think that hard. This could be fun while you're watching a movie too, where you could put me on mute and put on an audiobook from the library. I know it's a little tricky to see this layer because the white's a little bright on this camera, but I'm just doodling. I'm just layering different kinds of marks over top of each other with different kinds of EDS. I'm using markers and colored pencils, crayons. And the crayons are fun because then the markers don't stick over the crayons. So you can do a lighter crayon and then do your marker on top. It'll still show through. This is a fun kind of project to work on if you are more into drawing and stuff, but you're just trying to get a feel for some new markers. Practice how they feel and what kind of shapes you can make with them. Give you a peek at my layer here so you can see a little better. I'm feeling pretty good about that. I can always go back in later. I want to do some more. The next one's going to be green, and I like how this first layer sticks out a little bit and then this next layer is flat, so I might do that again. I might want the green to kind of stick out some more. So I think I'm going to use some felt. And I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'm just going to go half the rainbow so that I like it. And then I'm just going to make a copy of that for the other side. Using another piece of felt. And I'm leaving a lot of messy edges because this project isn't about being super finished. Just kind of getting stuff down on paper and putting something cheerful in the window. So it doesn't have to live on the wall forever. The ideaSPACE kitty joining us, helping out. I think he thinks it's dinner time. I'm getting a little hungry too. Here's my green. some texture. So I still have blue and purple. I think I might do another kind of scribbly layer for the blue. And I have this fun purple paper that I think I'll use at the end. That's my blue layer. And I think I'm going to finish with more of this paper, but I might use triangles this time just to mix it up. Again, you don't need to have any of these materials. You could be using just all crayons or all colored pencils. Or just using what we've got in the house. You might want to use some stickers. You could find all your stickers in one color and put them all in a layer. You could use all paint. Or you could cut things out of magazines. Or you could use some old book pages. Don't say I said that. If you missed the beginning at all, and you're watching me now just making a rainbow, we are making window posters to put in our windows of our apartment or our house, wherever we live. That will brighten up the days of people around us, especially with it being rainy, maybe even a little bit of a snowy April. Have something bright and happy and a way to say hi to our neighbors who maybe we can't go see right now. Just do some art that we don't have to think too hard about. Nothing on this project has to be perfect. It doesn't matter if you cut a bigger triangle or a little triangle. There's no wrong triangles. There's no wrong squares. There's no wrong scribbles. You can just play with the patterns and the colors and the glue. And I think especially if we are maybe adults, if we're grown-ups or we're older kids, we feel like it has to be, everything we make has to be really perfect, and it has to be something that we would keep forever. So today we're making something that we probably won't keep forever. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll frame it and put it on the wall. But giving ourselves permission today to make something that we might recycle next week. And that's okay. I've been encouraging everyone to maybe make a playlist of music to listen to while you work on these. Or put on an audiobook or a podcast. Something quiet and something maybe that your eyes can rest from the screen and your hands can do some different motions than what you're doing if you're working from home. Wendell's saying hi. If you missed Wendell, my cat, he's here. He's also crafting with us. His name is Wendell after Wendell Berry, which is very appropriate for this month because Wendell Berry is a poet. And it is April, which is National Poetry Month. Hello, are you reading us a poem, bud? Poetry would also be a really nice thing to listen to while you're doing some art that doesn't matter too much, but it's going to matter a lot to the people who walk by and see it. That is my triangle layer. I think I'm going to go back in a little bit and fill in some of my orange and yellow back here. And then I want to add some like puffy clouds because I think I have some yarn that I can use on my bookshelves behind me. Ow. That looks a little more yellow and orange again. I'm kind of almost done. So I think I just want to add some little puffy clouds, have a little more texture again. So I think I have some yarn right behind me, so I'm going to grab that. So I have this fun puffy yarn that I think looks like clouds. And I think I'm going to use another little piece of paper to make my clouds so that they have a little more structure. And you can make clouds however you want, but how I like to make clouds with little poofs on the end and then big poofs on top. And little poofs on the end, and then these smaller little friends. So it kind of makes the shape that you'd see in the sky. So a little C, and a big poof, and a little C that goes backwards, and then just little poops at the bottom. Again, if you're making a thank you sign instead of a rainbow, you can do any of these things also. You can make your letters out of different pattern paper or out of yarn that you glue down. You can make some really pretty cursive letters that way. Wanda likes cursive letters. Yeah. Yeah. So these are a little smaller than the bottom, but that's okay because I'm going to put a bunch of puffy yarn all the way around the edges. So I'm just going to make little twirls of yarn as I go to fill up my shape. I'm going to use more glue. If you have tacky glue that's in a bottle, that might be even easier than this. But mine's in a drawer somewhere, so I'm going to make this work. if you know how to knit or crochet, it could be really fun to knit or crochet a rainbow. It'd be a good way to use up the ends, those little ends of yarn that you get left over. Do a lot of knitting, crocheting. There's one of my clouds. It's a little bit bright in here, so it's kind of hard to see all the yarn, but it's all smushy. I'm gonna add that to the bottom of my rainbow, and I'm gonna make one more for the other side. Wendell also likes to brighten people's day. He's sitting in the window where I'm going to hang my rainbow. He's meowing to everyone who walks past because he likes to say hi too. That is my second cloud. Really twirly. And I'm gonna get one more piece of yarn because I think I'm gonna hang it in my window with like a nice piece of string to hang it up. So I'm gonna grab that. I'm just gonna use some more of my same yarn. And also just do a little tape donut on the front of your thing if you'd like, but mine's kind of 3D, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a little loop and then I can tape this part to the window so it'll hang and I won't have to try and smush it into the window because the side's gonna go up against the glass so other people can see it. So I'm just gonna flip this guy over. Put a little piece of tape. Side. And if you wanted, you could do both sides because then you can also see your own rainbow. That's where I'm gonna stop today. And I could always come back and do another rainbow to put on my side so you're bringing your own day too. So now this can just hang up in our window. So I'm gonna switch this back so you can see our completed rainbow. So this is my little friend. It's a little easier to see here. But if you're not done yet, then you can keep going after we're done. There's no time limit. Or you can put it away and finish another time with your music or with your audiobook. I'm just gonna hang mine in the window before we finish up, so I'm gonna move a little bit so you can see my window. So bright. I'm just gonna take a piece of tape. You can even see all the colors coming through the back, which is pretty fun. But we're all set. Thank you all so much for joining us again. I'm Christiana. I'm a librarian at the Public Library of Brookline. So we're running this series of Craftalong programs for all different ages and just doing some kind of common crafts to have something to do with our hands right now, because I know a lot of us are feeling a little fidgety and cooped up. So we're just going to do some calming stuff with our hands and learn some new things, but we're going to use a lot of stuff that's just around our house and that we already have lying around. So next week we're going to be celebrating Earth Day with a little terrarium made out of upcycled materials. So I can preview that for you because I have mine right here. This is mine that I made with little moss. And I had lights around, so I put lights in mine, so mine lights up a little bit. But you don't have to be that fancy. So we're going to be doing this next week. And you'll just need a glass jar or maybe a little box, because you can also do one with like a matchbox or something. So anything that you have lying around left over this week when you're making lunches, then you can grab it. And then whatever, again, just like today, just whatever craft supplies you have will work. So wire is super great, so you can make things float. Felt is super great, and paper. Whatever you have sitting around in your apartment or in your house, you can bring along for next time. Thanks so much. Take care.